Hello and welcome to highlights of the 2010 AutoGP Formula Sim Racing World Championship. Round 15 takes place on the tight and twisty streets of Singapore around the Marina Bay Street Circuit. This is the first night race in the history of the FSR-WC. Qualifying saw the top two championship contenders lock out the front row, with Bono Huis edging out Bruno Marquez for pole. Ronnie Hannell qualified in third place, just ahead of David Greco in fourth. Dennis Hurl put his Go-Speed racing car into fifth position on the grid, ahead of Rasmus Tali and Jarkko Mäkinen. Off the start line, Bruno Marquez had a lacklustre launch, and this allowed Ronnie Hannell to move alongside and then squeeze around the outside of turn 1 to move into second position. And just behind, Hurl ran wide through the chicane, giving Rasmus Tali fifth place. Into turn 5, Hurl was almost squeezed into the wall by Tali, and on the following corner, Hurl then made an attempted pass, but the Precision Motorsports driver held his ground and defended again through the next corner. Tali immediately launched an attack on David Greco, but the experienced Italian held a defensive line and kept his position. It quickly became clear that the leading Precision duo were much faster than their Twister rivals, with Huis and Hannell gradually disappearing into the distance ahead of Marquez and Greco. Tali was holding onto the back of the Twister cars, while Hurl was slowly slipping behind in sixth place. On lap 6, Marquez made a small mistake, braking a little too late, running wide and allowing David Greco to take over third position. But 3 laps later, Greco hit an anti-cut strip and the Italian was lucky to avoid the wall. He recovered quickly, losing just 3 positions. However, Rasmus Tali would then have an almost identical accident just ahead, spinning after also hitting an anti-cut strip, but avoiding the wall and making a quick recovery. Dennis Hurl had now been handed 4th position, just behind Marquez. Mikko Puumalainen was the next driver to clip an anti-cut strip, and he lost several seconds waiting for a clear track to spin his car back around. Unfortunately, the fin hit the wall in the process and would then have to battle on with damaged suspension. With a race win being more than enough to secure him the 2010 championship, Bono Huis was well on his way to victory lane, with a small gap back to Hannell and over a 7-second lead over Marquez and Hurl. In 9th position, Poniatowski was leading a train of cars with Disley, Saxon and Patel right behind him, until a lapse in concentration resulted in Poniatowski hitting the wall at turn 8. With no front wing, he was forced to give way to those behind him, and as he called for his pit crew, he missed his braking point, this time hitting the wall with enough force to cut his engine. It was a bad day for the SB Motorsports crew, with Puumalainen finally calling it quits on lap 32 after struggling with both damaged suspension and suffering pains in his leg. As the race went on, Bono Huis's dominance became more prominent, with the Dutch teenager continuing to storm away with the lead. Ronnie Hannell was comfortably driving in second position until a small mistake caused him to spin the car, but the German recovered quickly, minimising his time loss. The second set of stops resulted in third place Bruno Marquez establishing a gap back to Dennis Hurl after Hurl lost a little time through his second stop. And further behind, Rasmus Tali managed to just beat David Greco out of the pit lane, moving up into 5th position. As Greco desperately tried to hold onto Tali's rear wing, he too clipped an anti-cut strip, spinning at turn 3 and losing any hope of reclaiming 5th place. Some consistent lap times allowed Lee Morris to catch up to 7th place Jarkko Mäkinen, but Morris's race nearly ended prematurely when he locked up into turn 13 and narrowly avoided hitting the Armco. With Mäkinen having to drive under the limit to conserve fuel, Morris continued to hound the Finn for 7th place until Morris lost control onto the bridge and hit the wall hard on the penultimate lap. Leading the Grand Prix from start to finish, 16-year-old Bono Huis took the checkered flag, securing the 2010 AutoGP World Championship with his 10th podium position in a row. With 8 victories and 8 pole positions to his name in the 2010 season alone, no one could argue for a more deserving champion than the young Dutchman. Ronnie Hannell crossed the line in second, making it a 1-2 for the McCall Precision team, and Bruno Marquez finished in third. Dennis Hurl held on to 4th position, and Rasmus Tali's 5th place finish gives Precision enough points to claim the Constructors' Trophy. David Greco finished in 6th position, ahead of Jarkko Mäkinen in 7th. With Huis secured in the top spot, the battle for second position in the championship is still far from over. Marquez's badly needed podium has helped him hold on to second place, but with Tali just 18 points behind, he will need some more solid results in the remaining rounds. Precision Motorsports are now also secure in the top place on the constructors table, and the team has already started to put their top drivers into the sister team, Mac Corp, in an attempt to chase down Twister for second place. Twister have a 46-point lead over Mac Corp, and with 3 rounds remaining, they will be under a lot of pressure from their German-based rivals. The next round will be the Japanese Grand Prix. Tune in at 5:25 GMT on the 3rd of October for the multi-BC broadcast. To watch the action live, go to www.formula-simracing.net and follow the links to the live broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I'm Simon Adebisi, and we'll see you at Suzuka for round 16 of the AutoGP Formula Sim Racing World Championship.